Hello, this is George Senda, the guy from Pittsburgh, and this is Donald Trump Talk. Now, I watched the Trump speech, most of it. I found out exactly how much time it takes me to go feed Orangey, the two little kitties across from Orangey, and the kitties here, and go to the post office. I get one piece of mail telling me about Medicare, when I don't get Medicare. So that was kind of annoying. But I fed the kitties, came back, and about 6:20 watched Donald Trump's speech. And I was amused to hear all the leftist outcry, not about the speech, but about how Donald Trump eats his steak, and Kellyanne Conway, his advisor and former campaign manager, putting her feet on a couch and disrespecting the president. From the same leftist who, within the last 30 days, have said Trump is not our president, and John Lewis, congressman, he's not a legitimate president, and now they're calling that they're disrespecting the office of the president. They can't have it both ways, folks. So Trump eats his steak well done, and he went to a restaurant. It was $54 for a steak, and it's his restaurant, I think. And he puts ketchup on it. So they're having a cow. The Washington Post. No one should eat a well-done steak. It turns out like shoe leather. It's well done. And every expert will tell you. And a site called Eater said about the same thing. They're all having conniption fits how you eat your steak. Well, I don't know about you. I've never had a $50 steak in my life. But if I had the money, and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, well, that's about $48 for a steak dinner there. You're going to have to tell me how the hell to eat a $50 steak. Now, I eat my steak well done. I don't like the taste of blood. I had nosebleeds as a child. I swallowed enough blood. It's gross. I don't like the sight of blood either. I don't like the phlebotomy cart lady when they have to draw samples off of me. When I was a kid, or even now when I go to the lab and I take blood work. I can't stand it. I don't like needles either. So if Trump eats his steak with ketchup, let him eat his steak. And they had a poll in the Washington Post. 36% of the people in the country like their hamburger well done, and hamburgers ground steak or steak. And yet these elitists whine about how it's terrible to have a steak well done. And Kathy, by the way, eats her meat medium rare. She usually doesn't order steak. She orders prime rib. And to me, it's like tongue on a plate. It just looks terrible. It's all bloody yuck. And Kellyanne Conway putting her feet on the couch to take a picture. Well, they cropped the picture not to show what she was really doing. She had her cell phone on. I like the fact she had Charmander in her cell phone. And my favorite Pokemon. And she couldn't get close to the desk because on both sides had black educators around. They were taking a picture of the president. And they cropped the picture to make her look terrible. And that's why she was kneeling with her shoes on the couch so she could get a picture of all these educators for posterity. And she has kids, and I guess she wanted her children to see them. And in an interview afterwards, she said, I meant no disrespect to President Trump or the office. It's the only place I get a picture. And I've seen girls at parties put their feet up on the couch. And we saw Barack Obama put his feet on the desk given to us by Queen Victoria with his shoes on. No one said that he was disrespecting the office of the President of the United States. He was president. It's stupid. Okay, watch the speech. The Democrats sat on their hands, and they booed when Trump said he's going to have an office in Homeland Security where people can report crimes done to them and to their families by illegal alien criminals. So the Democrats boo Trump wanting people to have redress for family members being hurt or shot or raped or killed by criminals. This means the Democrats must be for illegal alien criminals and felons. And I was amazed they stood up and applauded the widow of a Navy SEAL killed honorably in action fighting the forces of evil, ISIS. And yet the left also said today that the intelligence gathered in that raid in Yemen was not very useful. And Trump said, no, I talked to the general in charge, and it was very useful, and it was to find more bad guys. And Trump, of course, used the phrase that the Democrats have dreaded for 8 years and would never say, radical Islamic terrorist. And by the way, for your information, there's a creepy story out there that they discovered a manual by ISIS. And in the manual, this is the kind of people we're fighting. They give instructions to their ISIS members who are Muslims, saying that if on Ramadan you have no food available, you may kill Christians or Jews and eat them. The hell was that? So, this means instead of the walking dead, we got the walking living. And they want to kill you and eat you. Now, I don't know if they're going to eat you with or without steak sauce and ketchup. But that's what we have to deal with. The crazed people of ISIS who are cannibals and radical Islamic terrorists. Now we got radical Islamic terrorist cannibals. So, and the other thing is Democrats wore white in honor of women's suffrage. Well, the pictures I found in Britain and the United States by suffragettes, they were all wearing black. And these Democrat women in the House look like the creepy weeping angels from Doctor Who. And Nancy Pelosi, she had something here that looked like the thing you wear if you're an Orthodox Jew going to temple on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur where you don't cut your hair. And she looked like she was chewing her cud. Now, this is the not the craziest Democratic woman there is, but she's right up there in the top 5. This is the woman who told you, you had to pass the bill on Obamacare before you could read it. And I watched her in a show recently, and I wish I'd kept a copy of the show, where she said, if you live, eat, sleep, or breathe, you'll be affected by Donald Trump. So I guess you'll be affected by Donald Trump if you're sleeping. That's how dangerous Donald Trump is to this woman. So you can't go to sleep. And I guess you better not if there's radical Islamist cannibals outside your window, seeking to abduct you and making steak tartare out of you. So, Trump wants to fix our infrastructure. He wants to increase our military. And they had a cow today that he wants to cut the budget of the State Department. And yet he's not going to do anything about Social Security or Medicare, and those are the 2 biggest costs right now in our budget. And Democrats just sat there like weeping angels, like stone statues, and didn't applaud at all, and then they left early. It also looked like a kind of a demented choir practice, so all the women in the white dresses left. Now, we had suffrage in this country in 1920, so why would they be honoring suffrage in 2017, 100 years ago? If you're going to honor suffrage, honor it in 2020 when it's 100 years. Canada gave the vote partially in 1917. Saudi Arabia didn't give it till last year. Women can vote and run for office in Saudi Arabia. Of course, they'll get stoned and whipped. They go to Starbucks and sit next to a guy for a cup of coffee. Can't have that. That's the real war on women, radical Islam, not anything Republicans will do. But they'll never admit that. All right, this is George Senda, the guy from Pittsburgh. Have a great evening. Stay safe out there and watch out for the crazed, weeping angels of the Democratic Party. Bye-bye for now.